Hi, I am Shanae Starnes, and one of my part-time jobs in the evening and weekends is being a licensed health insurance agent as well as a life insurance agent. I've gotten to the point where I like to just say, I help people with managing the correct benefits that they need for themselves so that they're able to protect their money by having the proper insurance. As I've said before, and for many of you that may not have heard this, insurance is a risk. And as long as you're living, we don't know when things are going to occur, but it's better to have the insurance when you need it than to need it and not have it. I've seen it time and time again. And I am sure that you could think of situations and circumstances where individuals do not have the adequate coverage. So tonight, I'm just going to take some time. And in the business that I'm in, I've realized that there's a lot of education that needs to happen in order for people to feel comfortable, to feel confident, and making the right choice. The thing I always say is just make a choice to do it, right? So I'm going to get started. Tonight, I'm going to talk about health insurance 101. If you are on the replay, please hashtag replay. Let me know where you are from. And let's go ahead and get started. So, health insurance 101, these are some of the basic fundamentals of understanding healthcare, because healthcare is huge, and I'll go into depth in just a moment. We're going to cover what is health insurance all about, the main attributes and benefits of primary health care. What are the different problems, some of the solutions and explanations, and the ideal primary health care model and basis? All right. What is healthcare? Let's ask this question. Let's talk about how health is a fundamental human right. It is an integrated care, compromising preventative, promotive, and curative and rehabilitative services. And health is the key to social economic development and progress of the country, and is organized into three levels, right? And then let's kind of talk about that, because we don't really think about healthcare when we're off to the races after high school or after college and we get into our busy lives. Some of us go right into work for a company, and we are met with making a decision on choosing a healthcare plan as part of the benefits. Or some may have decided, look, I'm going to go ahead and try my blessings on being an entrepreneur or a self-employed individual. And they are met with the decisions of, how do I take care of my health so that I can make sure that I can work, right? So I'm going to talk very briefly about the 5 types of health insurances, that should say an S on there, okay? The first one I'd like to talk about is major medical. Some people may call that the job insurance. Another way that I use this term is when I'm talking about affordable health care, aka Obamacare, Biden care. You may hear multiple names, and those are the things I also want to share with you tonight. Then there's what you call short-term health insurance. In the short-term health insurance, you may also hear it being called limited insurance. Another name that I want you to look out for is self-employed insurance. But again, it's a short term. It's a limited term type of coverage, and we'll cover that as well. Indemnity insurance, and we'll talk about what that is. And then you have Medicaid and you have Medicare, right? Many people are familiar with Medicaid and Medicare because those are either state funded or federally funded, and we'll cover that as well. So let's go back talk about what is major medical coverage, right? That is a long term comprehensive health insurance plan or coverage, and it's designed to cover a majority percentage of the medical costs that you will pay in a given year. So when open enrollment happens at your job, it's because what happens is a couple of things. One, you need to choose your benefits again. And then two, insurance companies increase their rates. And so that's the time of the year you can choose to keep the same coverage, or you may want to make some changes because you've noticed that you may have had to use your plan a little more the year before. And you may have been struck with a condition that's going to require you to have more visits to the doctor going forward, So major medical coverage it is a long-term plan for one, and it does cover a nice bit of the bills that may come in, and we'll talk about that as well. Some people, like I said, they call it the insurance on the job, that come with those benefits that you get. Affordable health care. Affordable health care, when I'm talking to clients, I do mention that it is major medical coverage because it is comprehensive, and there's components to it that I'll share with you in just a little bit. But let's talk about what is short term. What is short term health care? Because remember, I said that you may hear this term, that it's the self-employed insurance, or you may hear it called PPO coverage. But I don't even want to put that specifically there. But I have heard the term self-employed insurance, right? And basically, that is what it is. It lasts from several months up until a year. But some of the things that may not be offered under this type of benefit plan are things like maternity, mental health, and any pre-existing conditions. And that's important to know because with major medical, a lot of times when you go work at a job and you have a pre-existing condition, depending on what type of package your job has opted in for, many times you may have a pre-existing condition that's covered, or that is the reason why you go get a job so that you can get the coverage there, right? But some companies do have the insurance offered on the job, but they may have a waiting period for pre-existing conditions. Well, with affordable health care, that was a part of the law that was written. Any person with a pre-existing condition would not be turned away for healthcare coverage. The other thing is that there are limits on the lifetime maximum of an insurance plan that you get, whether it's with your job or with affordable health care. Some plans you can only spend up to 2 million, 1 million, and it's called lifetime maximum of a plan. That can still put you in a peculiar situation should you be diagnosed with cancer. I mean, a cancer experience can run that bill up and still cause a hardship when it comes to the bills that are coming in. I will say, with affordable health care, pre-existing conditions again are included, and there's an unlimited maximum amount that can be spent for your health care. The term indemnity, some people may hear it being called fee for service. Like that term you might hear maybe at a doctor's office, or for those that may work in or for an insurance company that uses that term. But this is also something that can be called out-of-pocket insurance, hospital insurance. But this is a plan where you go to get your services done, and based off the plan you have, the company or the doctor's office or yourself sends in the bill to be reimbursed. All right, so that's an indemnity plan, and now they're getting pretty savvy. There's some plans out there that may include some doctor visits in there, and some additional things that may fit your needs, right? Sometimes that premium is a little higher, and you may have more of an out-of-pocket expense. And again, I'm going to give you some clarity on these terms because I want you to be able to play this video back, rewind it, do whatever you need to do to become more informed and educated, whether you are working at a job right now that have the benefits, or you might be put in a situation where you don't have that job anymore and you're looking for coverage. I just want you to be informed because this is so important. There's so many people that are without insurance. And moreover than that, there are so many people that don't know where to go to get it. They don't understand affordable health care. And that's where I come in to help you out. Now, there's Medicaid and Medicare. Medicaid is the nation's public health insurance program for low income individuals. All right. Um, in my younger years, I've used Medicaid. This is something that is political. Medicare is too. And we need to keep our ears to the pavement in that area because you never know how life may deal you, and you may need to pull from Medicaid. You may need to, and I'll get to Medicare in a minute, you may need to utilize those services. We pay into it, right? So Medicaid, again, Medicare is a federally funded program for individuals. You know that. Those of y'all that have been working, we pay into it through our jobs. And when we pay our taxes, we pay into our Social Security and we pay into our Medicare benefits, right? But with Medicare, it's designed for individuals that are 65 and older, or should you become disabled before age 65, then you can pull and apply for Medicare as well. And it doesn't matter what your income is. Okay. So one of the things, I'm not here to talk about Medicare right now, but that's something available to everyone when they reach the age of 65 as far as healthcare coverage. And it's one of the ones that a lot of older people find very confusing. And the one thing I will offer to you tonight is to know that you're going to go there prayerfully one day. So the time to start understanding this was yesterday, understanding what that looks like when you get to that age. So let's talk about healthcare benefits, right? Some of the things that are covered in your benefits are things like outpatient care, that care that you have without being admitted to a hospital. So when you get your bills, and some of you may have medical bills, and you may see outpatient care. And I'm going to talk about that because it's important to understand your policy and read through the insurance policies. When you obtain healthcare coverage and you have a premium or you don't have a premium, that's not all. It's just not the end all be all. There are situations where you still are responsible for a portion of the services for certain services that you get. And we'll talk about that as well. But trips to the emergency room, those are healthcare benefits. The ambulatory services, if you are driven to the hospital in an ambulance, that's important to know. I don't know about you guys, but I know people be like, look, don't take me in an ambulance because it costs an arm and a leg, right? Treatment in the hospital for inpatient care. So you are not feeling well and you're actually in the hospital for inpatient care. That's not the time to get health insurance or to look into any other insurance. It's before you get there, right? And then there is the care before and after a baby is born. And then you have services and devices to help you recover if you're injured. One of the other things, I help people understand is that, yep, you feel healthy, you feel nice, you feel good. But some of the other things to think about is, should you become injured? Like you could sprain an ankle. You could break a finger. Like those are times where health insurance is needed and necessary. And it's not just going to a primary care physician to be seen. In that case, you may need to see a specialist. So understanding what your costs for specialists are important as well. Lab tests, I'm talking about blood work. You have insurance, you're paying a monthly premium, But within your benefits, there is a share, a cost share for you as it pertains to any x-rays that they take, any type of blood work that they take. And the reason why this component is critically important is because I have had over the years individuals say they still got bills. And the thing is that you will get a bill depending on what services that you've used with the healthcare. But that doesn't make the plan bad. What happens is it makes it an opportunity to understand it so that you can better prepare and understand what you have when you have these type of benefits. Because I'm an advocate for healthcare, right? Now, I am also an advocate for empowerment too, right? I'm an advocate for understanding that healthcare is not there. It's there for prevention. It's there for your preventative services. And that's another thing that affordable healthcare does. It offers the preventative visit that you go to and have, those are covered. That's not even going to cost you a copay or anything like that. All right. So basically understanding what you have and how it will help you when you need it, right? Healthcare benefits, what's the cost? So I told you earlier that I was going to talk to you about some terms, because I know that I throw a lot of terms out, and I realize sometimes I have to kind of reel myself back in and really break this down. I want to, and I have gotten better with making sure that a customer does not get stuck on the cost of what they have to pay. Because a lot of these insurance companies, and I'm going to speak for affordable healthcare, it's based on your income as to what premium that you'll be paying and the type of subsidy that the government will provide to you. And by the way, a subsidy is just a portion that the government is going to pay for your health care. And if there's a little left over, then that's going to be the premium part that you pay to have that insurance. So a premium is how much a plan will cost you on a monthly basis. How much will you pay each month? The narrative that my goal is to help people understand is that prepare for the healthcare. Add that into the budget, especially my entrepreneurial businesses and even those that aren't entrepreneurs. Just because you have insurance does not mean that it's going to not cost you anything. It's just like having that emergency fund when you blow a tire or something happens to your vehicle. You know, we talk in financial literacy about that emergency fund. Well, some of that emergency fund would be helpful in case you have a healthcare crisis and there's a cost that you're going to have to absorb, you know, or do like I do. Do you offer at the doctor's office? I'll ask, do you offer a payment plan, or can you bill me that cost? But that's what a premium is, right? And then you have a copay. A copay is what is considered a fixed, it's called out of pocket, but I like to say out of your pocket amount that you're going to be paying for covered services such as your doctor visits and prescriptions. And it's usually paid at the time of service. And like I was saying earlier, you know, sometimes you may have a copay if you just simply ask the person at that window, say, look, is that something that you can bill to me? Find that out. Ask the question. Two more things I want you to understand and know. Two more words. One is a deductible. The deductible is similar to your car insurance, right? You have a $500 deductible on your collision policy. You have an accident. Well, when it comes time, it was an accident that you did, right? You caused the accident, just you, one vehicle, and you have this $500 deductible. Well, you're going to have to pay that $500 deductible. And once you do that, then the insurance company will pay the difference in the cost of the damage. Or in many cases now, they'll write you the check for the difference minus your deductible. Well, healthcare has deductibles as well. So your deductible is the total amount that you'll pay for healthcare services before your insurance starts to cover a portion of the cost. Out-of-pocket maximum, or this is the maximum amount of money in a 12-month period per year that you will pay for services. So this is the most that you'll have to pay for healthcare services during your coverage period. Think of it as your safety net in the event of a major health problem. So let me give you an example of a maximum out of pocket. So you have a plan, and the plan has a deductible. We talked about the copay, but there's a total out of pocket maximum that you would be responsible for, and that could fluctuate. It could be $1,000, it could be $8,000. But remember, I was telling you earlier that you may have a hospital bill, and you may have to pay a portion, which is coinsurance. I didn't even put that term there, but coinsurance is the percentage that the health insurance company would pay and the percentage that you would pay. So for example, the coinsurance is 80-20. So that means when you go to the hospital, the insurance company will pay 80% of that hospital bill, but then you're left with the 20% to pay. Well, that 20% that you're paying, it's not for nothing. It goes towards whatever your out-of-pocket maximum is on that plan. And for example, that out-of-pocket maximum is $1,000. Well, that 20% that you just paid towards your hospital stay might have been $500. So that $500 is going to apply to your total amount out of pocket for the year, right? You have another event that happens and it causes you to pay another $500 out of your pocket. Well, now you have met the $1,000 maximum that you would have to pay for your health plan for the year. Everything after that $1,000 that you meet, your healthcare plan is paid. You, anytime you go to the doctor, anything else happens to you, the plan will pay it. So I know that might have been a little drawn out, but if you ever want to rewind this, go back, listen to it for understanding. That'll be great. Let's talk about some of the problems. I kind of named them. Like one of the things that I have on when I'm talking to businesses, I'm talking to my clients, and I have it on a banner, is that your health is the biggest financial risk is your health. Because if you're not well, then you can't do your job. That's the health side of things, right? And that's why companies put that in as a fringe benefit, because it's to make sure that the employees are well enough to do the job for them. Well, it's the same that applies to you. You want to be well enough to do the job for you. You want to be well enough to do the job to support your family. Shoot, you want to be well enough to be able to get up and just do your job. If you have health insurance, then you can go to the doctor. You can go see what's going on. And prayerfully, it's nothing major. But even if it is, you have the coverage to be able to get on it right away. So one of the problems is that it's the social economic inequalities that are widening when it comes to healthcare than it is narrowing. I think it's gotten better. I feel really confident. I feel really good when I'm talking to individuals and they're like, they didn't understand how affordable healthcare worked. Some people have their opinions on it. Some of it is political. I don't get into any of that. You know, my goal is to cover people that want it. I can't deal with nobody or, you know, try to change the mind of somebody who has something negative to say. It's not why I'm in business, you know. I'm in business because I have information to share and I want people to be able to solve their problems and their solutions, right? The next problem is failure of publicly financed healthcare to reach the less fortunate citizens. I think that President Obama did his due diligence in getting the Affordable Health Care Act passed as a law. Because at that time, for those who know my story, after I became an agent, I wrote my first policy I wrote was for me. Because at that time, I was working in cosmetology schools and I didn't have health insurance. My kids were covered with Medicaid, but I didn't have health insurance. So if anything, I was praying that nothing happened. Like, of course, I didn't need anything major to happen because I'd be shut down and bills would be piling up. So, making sure that more people have access. I don't know what the numbers are, but the numbers are going to come in terms of, how many people have been covered during the open enrollment period. And I'll talk about that. I didn't put that on here, but I'll talk about open enrollment in just a minute. And then the last thing, number 3, is little knowledge about the relative importance of determinants of having health service, having health care, having health insurance. Just a little knowledge. And this is where knowledge is power. We don't do a lot because sometimes it's too difficult to understand, or we don't know what questions to ask, or we feel like people are talking over our heads. And I want my clients to know that if I ever come across like that, sometimes as a teacher or a presenter, we have to tone down how we explain things to a bite-sized form for individuals who don't know anything. And trust me, I'm not perfect. And I teach people that in your business will grow you up if you want to learn. And the people that you serve will teach you how to reach them if you want to reach more people. But wanted to make sure that I expressed the problems with healthcare and why my passion is so big in it, right? So why do you need healthcare? For the first time in history, people with moderate and low incomes are eligible for tax credits and subsidies to offset the cost of premiums and expenses. Most consumers want and value health insurance, but they can't afford the coverage or have been shut out due to pre-existing conditions. There are some things that need to be improved. It's not perfect. But if you don't become educated and involved, and when you see things come across in a voting situation where we can be empowered to make a change and make a difference, then there ain't going to be no change or difference. It'll just be a bunch of people complaining about what ain't. That's not the route we should take. That's not the mindset that we should take. I am happy that I was able to have major medical coverage again when I was laid off from the insurance company I was working part-time. And I felt naked without health insurance. This is the thing. Many people say, oh, they don't like the doctors, and I'm not taking that medication. I'm not doing this, and that's cool. We all have choices. But one thing is for sure is that just because you have health care or just because you look into it, it does not mean that you don't have to have a holistic perspective and use naturopathic options. It's that when you need to go and you're not feeling well, you can see what it is that you have according to the blood work that you might need to get. And if you say, look, I don't want to take the allopathic method or route, which is the doctors, the medical side, you might want to take a more holistic approach. At least you have the empowerment to do it. Because you could be taking a holistic approach in tainted soil that you don't even know. But let's find out. And the tainted soil is our body, the things that are going on. Go get checked. Then you can make a more informed decision on what to take. Some people want to take herbs. Some people want to do holistic approaches, exercise, these are some of the things that the doctors are telling you to do anyway. Taking a more preventative approach is what I hope that this information is opening your eyes up to, right? Let's talk about the numbers. Some of y'all, my number people out there, I like numbers too, y'all. So 15.4% of the population in the U.S. is without health insurance. That's an equivalent 48 million people. Rising insurance costs have contributed to fewer employers offering health insurance. I've been noticing that. And another thing I've been noticing is that even if you're married, right, and you're at a job that offers benefits, the benefits may very well be affordable for the employee that has the job, but when he or she decides to add on the spouse or add on a dependent, it becomes hugely unaffordable. That's a disparity. But that's also an opportunity for you to look into a more affordable healthcare through affordable healthcare. Now, the uninsured rate among adults 18 and over, that fell from 19.3% to 18.6%. Others are healthy and choose to go without it, right? Some have been rejected by insurance companies and are considered uninsurable. That uninsurable comes because a lot of the other policies that I just talked about, like your short term, your indemnity, they're asking for qualifying questions. They want to insure more healthier individuals. So this is just a conversation to have, right? It is health that is real wealth and not pieces of gold and silver. Because hell, let's be real. If your health ain't nothing, ain't no wealth. If you don't even have an opportunity, listen, some of the things and conditions that we are dealing with, we may need help from a professional. This could be mental health, behavioral health, substance abuse health. That's also covered under affordable health care. Just to help you with getting back straight. Like maybe there's something that is ailing you on a mental level that's causing the rest of your body to not function the way that it needs to function to stay healthy. I'm not making excuses. I'm just telling you what it is. I'm telling you that everybody is experiencing something. I'm telling you that just because you may have it all, don't ever forget about your brother and your sister, your neighboring fellow Americans, your neighboring fellow neighbors, co-workers. Encourage them to get checked. So I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for stopping in. And like I said, if you check this out on the replay, I appreciate it. I hope that you have found this interesting. If you'd like to get in contact with me, please get in contact with me by going to ShanaeStarnesAgency.com. One thing's for sure. If I don't have the answer right away, I will get on the phone and get the answer. I will call the company. I got people right now. I'm going to call the company with one of my clients. I told them, look, if you need me to get on the three-way and help you articulate maybe what you can't, that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to service people. So that's what I think I was asking myself growing up. What is it that I want to do in life? And I always said I wanted to help people. And because this understanding helped me as far as being covered with insurance and then having used the plan, just envision, close your eyes for a minute, right? And just envision me like running and then clicking my heels to the side. It was an exciting feeling to be able to be seen and not have to pay a boatload to do it. Again, thank you for your time. Contact me if needed. If this ain't for you, it could be somebody that you know. There's a few people that I've been working with. I've been working with parents that have encouraged their kids to get coverage. I have been working with wives, girlfriends, friends that encourage their lovely men and husbands to get covered. There are individuals that just can't afford the coverage on the job, and there is an equation to figure out if it's unaffordable or not. There's people that ain't had health coverage in a minute. It's emotional for me. And this is just the health side, but I'm gonna stop it right here because your girl be getting all choked up and stuff because I'm just so passionate about making sure we good. The next thing I'm gonna leave you with though is having your life insurance in place. That's another thing. We talked about the insurance that you can use while you're living. The life insurance, there's some benefits as well that you can pull from and use while you're living. But today's topic is all about healthcare. So if you need information, contact me. I'd be more than happy to educate you. You be patient with me if it's something that I don't know right away. If you antsy, you need the questions. I've had to let people go do what they had to do because I may not have gotten back to them right away. I mean, it is what it is. I can't take that type of pressure. I just help the people, and God has the people lined up for me to help. That's just how it go. When it comes to business, any business that you do, there is abundance. There's never lack. I'm never in competition with anybody. I'm only in competition with myself to get better and help the people. So with that being said, you guys take care. Share this video. Share the information with someone. And I love you. If no one said that to you today, I love you. Take care. I'm Shanae Starnes. Bye, guys.